you will learn the basic kata for the self-defense cane. Now, self-defense cane is different from martial arts cane, hapkido cane, cane fu, in the respect that it is more focused on self-defense and not so much just on the esoteric, aesthetic martial arts. Esoteric meaning interesting, right? Aesthetic meaning it's pretty, it's fun to watch, it's fun to do. It has to have a practical purpose. So this basic form I designed for you because you keep asking me, and I have to tell you up front, I love kata, I love poomse, whatever you want to call it, patterns, forms, choreography when it comes to martial arts moves. And I love them on the martial arts side. I don't necessarily do any for self-defense, but I wanted to make one for you that allowed you to practice the basic moves in practical ways over and over again, so that if you wanted to, because you keep asking me, can you teach me a basic form? Now, if it's not for you, if kata's not for you, don't watch it, don't do it. But if you have been looking for something to add to your basic training, this possibly could be it. So I'm gonna show you in a simple way. This is basic form number one. I have 4 basic cane kata for self-defense, not martial arts, for self-defense. So you're not gonna get the dancy, fancy, airy, fairy, fairy meaning, you know, the ones out, the magical little creatures in the thing. We're not dancing around, we're not doing fancy moves, we're not doing things that don't make sense to me. And I could be wrong, but this is basic kata, basic form. I want you to start with it in whichever hand is your normal hand that you would carry the cane in. We're gonna do it on both sides because that is allowing us to become more ambidextrous. It's gonna allow you to train with your cane better so that you can defend yourself. We're gonna start with whichever is your power hand. So in your power hand, feet just under your body. We're gonna talk about stance and footwork, but most of these are gonna be what's called a walking stance. So not like a long martial arts, a bull stance or a front stance or the horse riding stance or the back stance. We don't need to do any of that because we're not gonna be doing that when we walk down the street. You can, if you wanna walk down the street like that, go for it. But I'm assuming that you're using your cane for mobility or you're taking it on vacation. You just want a little extra protection. And this is the kata that allows you to practice that. So it's just next to you. You're gonna step into this better position. I'm gonna show you from multiple angles. Step number one. Step number one of the basic kata is step in. When you step in, this hand comes up in a protected position on the side of your face that doesn't have the cane. The hand slides up just about a hand width, whatever's right for you in this basic kata that you would use for basic self-defense. Now you're in this position. Number one is step in, get the cane up. That's between you and the threat. Number two is a thrust right to the face. 3, you're gonna bring it back to the same side shoulder. This is my right hand, it's on my right shoulder. And keep your elbow in, don't chicken wing it. Your elbow's in, you're gonna slice all the way through, come up to the other shoulder, and that's the next move. Now let's review the first few moves from here. Step in, thrust, shoulder, shoulder. Now bring your foot up under your body so you're in this neutral position like you started. Bring the cane into the other hand and shove with a lot of force. And the more you practice this, the harder each one of these basic moves should be within the form. When you learn kata, a lot of people learn kata and they just get it kind of down right and they start to remember it. It starts to sink in, but then you gotta start to really snap it in order for it to be effective and to be useful. Now there's a lot of debate about kata yes or kata no. What I'm telling you is it's just a way to disguise repetition, to do the same thing over and over and over again. Don't overthink it. Your weight's on it. Step number 1, get into a better position. 2 is a thrust, shoulder down, other side, and again, keep it tight. Shoulder down, step in, and thrust. Now the side that has the crook, that's where you started, right side, you're gonna strike to the right. And when I move over, I know you can't see my feet completely, I'm just taking a basic little step. So when you step over, shove it into his ribs, shove it into that guy there, and then step back and stick it in his gut, the guy who's right behind you. I'm gonna give myself just a little bit more room. And I can see you guys are giving me some comments. I appreciate that so much. I won't be able to take a look at them until later. I want you to get the form down first. And again, if this is important to you, if it's not, then it's good to see you anyway. My weight's here, I get in a better position. Thrust, that's 2 separate moves. This is the ready position. This is position 1, position 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right in the stomach, then I'm gonna break the knee. That's number 9. 10, I'm gonna turn my palm facing the sky and bring it up and across the body. Step in with the right foot up and across the body, and then swing through horizontally in each direction, down over top of the head, bringing it up. See how my elbow's close to the body? Step in with the left foot and thrust, finishing them off. And now watch what I do when I step back. I'm gonna step back with my left, and as I go back, I'm gonna let my hand slide to the crook. I'm gonna swing, 2, 3, however many you want, and then back into this ready position. Now that's half of the form. We're gonna do the other half, and instead of swinging 1, 2, and then down, you're gonna swing 1, 2 into this side and start the form again in the mirror side. And that's just because a lot of forms do that mirror so that you get an opportunity to practice both sides evenly. Now, if you like the self-defense cane kata, or you just like self-defense cane, please give me a thumbs up so we can grow this channel, and I appreciate that very much. From the beginning, I step in, that's 1. 2 is a thrust from the shoulder, shoulder, bring it in and push. Step to the first side, the feet go back to the other side. I always want you to move your body into the strike, stepping back and thrusting into his gut and smash the knee. Stepping forward, or striking up first, then stepping forward with the right leg and then up to the other side. It comes through, it comes back, comes straight down on top, comes up in this position. Not this, but tight to the body. This is where you're strongest. Step in, thrust through the face. Stepping back, 1, 2, however many you want. And it's gonna come here. Now that comes from the katana. When you do a sword form, at the end of a sword form, before you sheath your sword, in traditional kendo or yaido or gumdo is what the Koreans call it, there's always a little move where you're shaking the blood off the blade. So I threw that in there because I know some of you caners worldwide, Caner University, you love to spin. So I want to give you a little bit of what you like to do. I like to do that too. So I thought, let's throw that in there. So there's a little bit of throwing, spinning, pop it down, or put it into the other hand and get into that first position to mirror, to do the other side. Left foot forward, there's the thrust. Shoulder down, step in and push. The side with the crook, that goes into the ribs, stepping back always on a kata especially, but for self-defense, always look first and strike. Smash the knee. Turn the palm up, come up across the body, step through, up across the body, and straight down the middle. Bring it into your body and right through the face, through the throat, eyes, nose, mouth, whatever. As you're stepping back, spinning here, or if you want to, bring it back to this side. Let me get it to spin, and then put it on this side. So the whole kata, from start to finish. Now, kata, poomse, pattern, choreography, whatever you want to call it, they're all the same. It's just a bunch of choreographed moves that allow you to practice it over and over again. I see Lugos here. Sand dude, I gotta be honest. I've been eating better. I've been eating healthier, and a little bit more food than I used to eat. And my wife kept saying, if you're not eating enough, you're not eating enough. And I said, I'm too busy to eat. So she started making these meals for me every day. And she sends me to work with meals and beautiful little notes. And that's leaning me out. I can't take any other credit. I'm not working any harder. I'm not doing any more cardio. My wife is taking care of me. So thank you. All right. And thank you. You guys are awesome. Thanks for mentioning that. My weight is here. I step in, thrust, shoulder, push to the side, back to the other side, back, smash. You're going to turn your hand up, bring it up. I took a step there, bring it through, bring it back, down on top, bring this up here, step in, and then step back 2 times because you took 2 steps forward. And then put it into the other hand, get in that ready position, thrust, same shoulder, or other shoulder, and then you're gonna step in, push to the side, push to the other side, thrust back, break the knee. This is just the exact same as the other side, but done with the other side forward, down on top, bringing it in here, right through the middle, and as you step back, 1, 2, bring it to the other hand if you want, and drop it in your ready position. if you need a ready position. And again, yeah, it looks a little bit like the shillelagh. I want to show you guys a shillelagh video one time because Doug sent me 3, not 1. In fact, I was thinking about this. You can do this same kata, if you're a kata person, you love to use kata because, or poomse or forms or whatever, because it's a way to break up the monotony of training. I like training in the air, I like training on the bags, I like to train all the different ways that you can use your cane, but I also like to put it into a kata, so that's why I made this kata for you. But you can do the same form with the walking stick, which means also with the shillelagh. So you can use the shillelagh and do the same thing. In fact, maybe I'll remake this video and do one with the shillelagh, one with, Sandu said I'm more active than people your age, 22. I'm gonna be honest, that's true. I've taught over 400 people so far this week, and I don't teach from the neck up. My whole body's gotta move. I gotta teach. That's probably the other reason. I'm eating better and I'm working out all the time because I'm teaching so much. All right, yes, thanks, Doug. So Doug sent me these 3 shillelaghs. I'm gonna show you the form with the shillelagh. I'm gonna show you the form with the walking stick. And by request, I hadn't practiced with this for a while, the tanbo, one of my favorite Japanese weapons. It's about 18 inches long. I'm gonna show you how to make your own from one piece of the same thing that we use, the dowel rod, right? The dowel rod from Lowe's, it's 36 inches. You cut it in half, that's 2 tanbos. So I'm gonna show you how to fight with 2 tanbos, how to get your hand to slide up and down, how to strike with those, and it's the same thing you can do with any stick. When you learn how to stick fight, you have all the self-defense you need. Now, let me face this way and show you from this angle, that basic form. I'm looking straight ahead, I step in, thrust from the same shoulder down, other shoulder down, step up, my feet are under my body, blast them. Come to the right side, go to the left side, step back and smash them right in the groin, right in the solar plexus, and then break that knee. Turn this hand and come up, step through and come up, bring it from the side through horizontal, smash down on top, bring it in, and step, thrust. Stepping back 1, 2, and then I put it in the other hand, and I get it into that ready position, thrust. Angle down, together, to the left, to the right, back to the left, smash. Turn that hand, bring it up the other side with a step. From the side, across, palm facing the sky, palm facing the ground on the way back, down on top, and it comes up. Remember, get that tight rifle bayonet attack. That's what this is. And step. Step back 1, step back 2, put it into the other hand, and when you're ready, stick it down. Now, one thing about that last motion that you do with the sword or the last spinning, that can become your signature move when you do form. So that can be whatever you want it to be. It can be 1, 2, down, keep it simple. It can be 1, 2, bring it around, that hand a couple times, throw in some over the shoulder action. If I do that right now, it's gonna go flying across the room. But you get the basic idea. Only because I haven't practiced it enough. But some of you caners worldwide, you can smack that around, get that over there, and bam, back in the hand, smash it down. If you want a kata. Again, if you don't want a kata, don't do the kata. That's my favorite saying. Someone will show up to class and say, hey, I'll say, get your gloves on, because we're gonna box. And someone will say, I didn't bring my boxing gloves. And I'll say, well, don't put them on. If you didn't bring them, don't put them on, right? If you don't want to do kata, don't do it. Put it here, one more time. Let's show you from this side. Start my right hand, step in here, thrust, down, step in and push to the right, to the left, back to the right, break that knee. Turn and bring it up. Then step and bring it up the other way. Bring it across, bring it back, bring it down on top. Get in this hand and smash. Step back, 1, 2, get in the other hand and get in your ready position. Thrust. Those are 2 separate moves. 1, 2. The thrust has to be separate. And then down, smash. To the left, to the right, back to the left, smash the knee. Turn the hand up, bring it through with a step. Bring it across, bring it back. Smash through. Stepping back, 1, 2, put it in the other hand and smash it down. And that's the basic cane form, basic form kata, or cane kata, thank you. I was trying to read, Doug said, love forms of katas, really work up. Yeah, me too, Doug. When I do kata, when I do poomse or kata, whatever you want to call it, patterns, Canadians all call them patterns. When you do your choreography, and a lot of people hate it. They say, I don't want to learn any forms, it's not useful. It's because they don't understand it. It has a use, right? What's the purpose of a kata? It's not that you're going to use those particular moves. It's to build a solid foundation, strengthen the body, improve the posture, practice the moves over and over again, get the body in motion, get the footwork going. And again, because this is a self-defense cane kata, or kata for cane self-defense, it's not going to have blocks, because I don't teach blocking. Instead of blocking, I want you to bust them, right? I don't want you to spend all this time learning all of these fancy moves and go in, lock the arm. All that works. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying that I have to keep it simple. I have to keep it simple for me, and I want to keep it simple for you. All right, yeah, flow and motion. Thank you. Good point. Helps with flow, helps with motion, helps with proprioception, helps with timing and distance, spatial awareness. There are a million good reasons to do kata, and they're not necessarily only self-defense, but they can be used for self-defense. All that technique that you learn in any kind of martial art with striking. Of course, jiu-jitsu doesn't have kata. Some do. The old style does. The new Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I haven't seen any. I don't think it exists. I was talking jiu-jitsu this morning. We were talking about Jocko Willink, a local guy. We were talking about how great that organization is, and Dean Lister's group. We're talking about 10th Planet. We're talking about all these different things, but we weren't talking kata. When I talk to a lot of traditional, especially the Kobudo guys or the old Okinawan guys, we talk a lot of kata, because we all have this passion for, kata, different kinds of ways to move the body. But when it comes to different styles, kata has its own purpose, right? So don't over confuse it. Don't confuse it with something else, something that it isn't. It's just a way to do the same thing over and over again. One last time, under your body, better position. That's 1. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then this is a transition move to the other side, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. I set out to make a 30 move. Why? I don't know. 30 seemed about right. I did a whole bunch of different kata from different styles I've been doing this, I think, since Monday. Someone asked me Monday. So since Monday, I've been working on this. And it's a basic form. I shouldn't be spending like 3 or 4 weeks on it. It should have only taken me a couple days, right? So I've only spent a couple days on it. And came up with this basic one. And I saw the 3,000-year-old Indian martial art. India, in case you didn't know, is the birthplace of Asian martial arts. Not China, no offense to the Chinese Communist Party, who have an agenda for propaganda and all that. But the truth is, everything started in India, moved to China, spread out to Korea, spread out to Japan, Okinawa, all that stuff, and that's all true. Those are ancient martial arts. All those, it's that whole area, the diaspora of Asia, Asian martial arts. But the seed comes from things like the Kiriyapati and Gakta, the Gurkha, the martial arts, the Gurkha practice, and what's the other one? Silambam, where they, the spinning, and then if you look at like in Pakistan, they fight with a sword and the short thing, and so there, a lot of Indian wedding performers still use the short sword and they're all fighting martial arts, but that's where it all started, and then it's evolved. It's evolved into Kung Fu, it's evolved into Wushu, it's evolved into Karate and Taekwondo and Dangsudo and all that stuff, and all the Filipino martial arts, and it's become a beautiful thing, right? So learn all of it. Learn everything you want to learn. Don't let anybody tell you that you can only learn one style, or this is right or that's wrong. It's just different. One's not better than the other. They're simply different. You guys have been awesome. Let's work on the next video. We're going to do Yeah, in all countries. This is a good point you're making about other countries. There's historical European martial arts, right? Those go back. Think about the Irish fighting stick. That goes back hundreds of years, if not thousands, with clans fighting each other with clubs and sticks. So you have styles all over the world, and you have indigenous styles all over Africa, all over Europe, and then of course in the Americas before the Europeans came, you had wherever they came from in Asia probably, or across the sea, or however the First Nations people got here, and they were they were fighting with bows and arrows, and before that sticks and knives, before spears. It's all martial arts, and they had to practice, they had to codify it because they had to teach the next generation and the next generation. That's how we survive as a race, as a human beings, as a human race, is that we pass things on, and it becomes codified and say, hey, we tried that didn't work. The saber-toothed tiger ate my buddy, and we learned to get in a circle, and then I'll jab him in the eye with or whatever it is. And so that's how that all kinds of comes about. And then you and we're adding to it. It's evolving with us because we're doing it now. And you should see these blackthorn shillelaghs. You say in the Netherlands, the Dutch. I was talking to someone yesterday. It's International Week over at this kid's school. I teach at the school. That's where I'm teaching so many kids, like 300 a week. And I love it too, by the way. It wears me out, but I love it. It's International Week. They're all dressed up with different stuff. And this girl had an outfit. I said, what's that? She said, the Netherlands. I said, I love the Netherlands. But, warrior people. They, think about all of Africa, how they, how they took that country over, that area over with their warrior traditions. Anyway, learning everything. Learn what works best for you. And the blackthorn, that was it. The blackthorn shillelagh, the ones that Doug sent me, that blackthorn stuff is, it's thinner than this, heavier than this, and it hits so much harder. Those shillelaghs, of all my weapons that I love to touch and mess with and work, that's the ones, Doug, you sent me, those are the best. The Irish shillelaghs, just the way they're made. They're made in the town of Shillelagh in County Wicklow, and I know it's County Wicklow because that's where my wife's aunt lives now. That's where they have some property there, and her whole extended family's there. That's where her father's from. And County Wicklow, the town of Shillelagh, and it's one of the original shillelagh makers that goes back generations and generations. And so that's my only point, is that every nation had its own, every culture, every people had their own warrior culture. And so whatever your culture is, it's not cultural appropriation either. We all good evening, Sensei Emmett. We're talking about martial arts from around the world. We just went through the basic Kata, poomse for the self-defense cane. We're just talking about how all different people. We were talking about the Irish having a culture of fighting with sticks, and it's all good. You guys have been awesome.